Hey, Welcome World Entertainment. And if you remember, Paramount and J.J. Abrams announced that last year, that's right, last year, by the end of last year, they would have been filming Star Trek 4. Well, here we are in 2023, and there's still no signs of that movie. Why? Well, they announced the movie, to which the cast immediately said, "It's the first I've heard of it," because they were out there saying, "Oh, all the cast are coming back. Chris Pine, Zachary, Quinto, Zoe Saldana, they're all coming back." And then, of course, the cast got asked, and they were like, I haven't spoken to anyone about a new movie. I haven't been given any contracts. What are they talking about?" Well, this movie apparently has been stuck in production hell ever since. That's right. Apparently, even to this point, they're still talking about this thing. But Zachary Quinto seems to have shed some light onto why it's stuck in production hell. So, let's have a wee look at this, shall we? By the way, Strange New Worlds Season 2 has just ended on a to be continued. They also just introduced Scotty. Yeah. As soon as this dude came out and he was Achtu, I was like, oh no, please don't be Scotty. Please don't be Scotty. And when they said, "What's your name?" and he said Montgomery Scott, I literally put my head in my hands and just, oh no, why? Oh, at this stage, by season 3, all the original cast, or characters I should say, will be in this show. For some reason, Kirk is a lieutenant on the USS Farragut in the show, and for some reason, he's always on the Enterprise. I don't know. But anyway, we're talking about this shit. By the way, please, for the love of Christ, stop calling it Star Trek 4. It is not Star Trek 4. We have Star Trek 4. It's called The Voyage Home. But let's have a look at this. So, Star Trek actor Zachary Quinto, who played Spock in the Kevlin timeline of films launched by director J.J. Abrams in 2009, recently explained why a planned fourth film is stuck in production hell. A fourth film in the Kevlin timeline, this is the funny part, was announced back in February of 2022 by Paramount Pictures CEO Brian Robbins and Abrams. The film was expected to see the return of Chris Pine, Quinto, Simon Pegg, Carl Urban, Zoe Saldana, and John Cho. And of course, unfortunately, Anton Yelchin was sadly killed in that accident with his car. However, almost immediately after the announcement, the Hollywood Reporter's boss, Kit, or whatever the hell his name is, sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that most, if not all, teams for the franchise's primary players, i.e. cast, who include Chris Pine, Quinto, Pegg, Urban, Saldana, and Cho, were not aware that an announcement for another film was coming, much less that their clients would be touted as part of the deal, and certainly not that their clients would be shooting a movie by year's end. That's right. J.J. Abrams. It was one thing Paramount went out and announced the movie, and they kept doing it. They'd done it like 3 times last year. And then somewhere in the summertime, I think it was roughly around July, Abrams came forward and spoke about doing it. And he's the one who said they were shooting by year's end and that all the cast were back. So, so by April of 2022, a number of the actors made it clear Kit's report was more than just rumour. Quinto told the Hollywood Reporter, I don't know that we will do this year. I don't know when it will happen, and I always maintain that I would love to do it. He added, but until I get something concrete, we're shooting this day, here's your script, get ready. I'm in a wait and see pattern. I'm not really attached to do it in any way until I have much more definitive certainty that is actually that it's actually happening. So that part right there was, I'm not attached to it in any way. That was the first statement that came out, and people were like, wait, they said you're film. Quick, someone asked Chris Pine, and you kind of had the same kind of thing. Before Quinto, Urban, who played Leonard Bones McCoy, told Variety, I haven't seen a script, I know nothing, but I would love to work with those guys again. So much fun, the best hang, we'll see. Chris Pine, who played Kirk, revealed to IndieWire he had yet to see a script. I know there's a script out there somewhere, and I'm waiting to see it. What he references there is there was like 5 scripts at one point, if you remember. Noah Hawley was meant to write one. That woman, what was her name? Sarah J. Clark or something, I think her name is. She had a script. There was, of course, they were still touting the Quentin Tarantino script. So that's what he's talking about, where he's like, I know there's a script out there, because they were just constantly saying there was scripts. He continued saying, looking forward to reading it. I love the group. I love the team. I love the world. Happy to go to work. As for what is causing the film to be stuck in production hell, Trek Movie reported that Quinto attended a Q&A session at the 57-year Mission Convention in Las Vegas, where he said, I think there's a lot of other stuff, creative things. It's complicated. The fact that anything good gets made is kind of a miracle. I think it's about different people having different agendas and ideas about what it will be, and I don't know if and when it will happen. He added, and if coalesces again and we come back and we're able to do it, wonderful. If not, we had a great run. And then there's a bit that says, interestingly, before the announcement of the fourth film, actor Simon Pegg told Game Radar in 2020 that he believed the entire production had lost momentum due to the death of Anton Yelchin, who played Chekhov. He said, we've lost momentum. I think losing Anton was a huge blow to our little family, and our enthusiasm to do another one might have been affected by that. So I don't know. And then the interesting thing he went on to talk about was the money that these movies, the budgets ballooned and the movies weren't bringing in money. He references Avengers. He says, we're not bringing in Avengers money. We're lucky if we bring in 500 million. But the budgets have skyrocketed. So you have a ton of things there. Oh, and he blamed the failure of Beyond to Paramount not knowing how to promote the movie and doing a piss poor job of it. The issues, there's so many issues as to why these movies are struggling. Number one, we know that whoever they had working on scripts for a fourth Calvin timeline movie was constantly being pushed with the idea of time travel in some way again, because they wanted to bring Chris Hemsworth back as George Kirk. You constantly had them doing that. But the idea is then, we're constantly shifting. Oh, we want to do this, we want to do that. Should we make it R-rated? Should we do this? Blah, blah, blah. It's just an absolute mess that they have it in. But then to start announcing the movies. Look, when Paramount said, "Oh yeah, the fourth movie's happening," that was testing the waters to see if there was interest. When J.J. Abrams, however, said, "Not just is it happening, but all the cast are coming back, and we're filming at the end of this year," which was last year, that was the moment where everyone went, "Oh really?" Because the fourth movie would have happened, except the new lead people at Paramount were refusing to pay Chris Pine what he signed a contract to earn with Paramount and Chris Hemsworth. So they both had contracts in place with money, obviously. And the new people that took over at Paramount went, "Yeah, we're not honouring that contract. Take a pay cut." And they were like, "No, that's the deal we were given. It doesn't matter that you people weren't the ones that signed it. The contract is the company, Paramount. It says Paramount on it. Ergo, you owe us this much." And they refused, so they walked away. And I think that would still be one of the hang-ups. I would say they still want Chris Pine to take a pay cut, and he's probably saying no. They're probably still wanting to get Chris Hemsworth back, and he's probably lost interest in it. But let's be honest, nobody wants another one of these movies. Why would you? The last three didn't do quite all that well. Like, the first one, 09, did okay. Like, it did well. Don't get me wrong. But in terms of turning huge profits and stuff, these movies basically were not making money. None of them. And then, Star Trek Beyond, you had the issue of Paramount wanted it to be a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Simon Pegg said, "No, it has to be a Star Trek movie." Then they tried to advertise it as a Guardians of the Galaxy movie with this bombastic music trailer. The Beastie Boys blaring through the whole trailer. And everyone just said, "Yes, screw this. I'm not going to see that." And no one did. And what's one of the hang-ups for the next script? Does anyone remember? Because I do. They said, "No, we're not making that. It's too Star Trek-y." That's right. A script for a Star Trek project was too Star Trek for that project. Let it die. It's done. Put a fork in it. It's done. Anyway, with that, I will leave it there for this one. So cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one. Live long and prosper.